Hi friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. Today's video is going to be ranking my last 11 palettes. Usually I do these in 10 palette increments, but every once in a while an extra one or two squeezes through. So I have 11 palettes here that I've been testing out, that I've played with recently, and I'm going to rank them. I love doing these videos and just kind of recapping on what I've tried lately. You seem to always enjoy these videos as well. It's always interesting for me to see like what ends up being like my favorites or least favorites. In some cases in these videos, I have a great roundup of palettes where it's things that I genuinely love and it was really hard to place. In this case, I have a very definitive one that I did not enjoy, but I also have some really, really great ones in this mix as well. And it was fun for me to really just break down and see what I liked more than others and for what reasons. I've played with all these palettes if you need to see inspiration. There's looks on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, all that good stuff. And I will have all of these linked down below as well as any discount codes if I have any, in case you do feel like shopping, if this is useful for you and you think it's something that you could get enjoyment out of in your collection. But as I always say, just because I'm sitting here talking about all these palettes does not mean you need these palettes. You might need none of these palettes. Obviously, if you are looking to maybe purchase one of these, I hope that my thoughts and my feelings help you in making your decision. But I also hope that this can just serve as maybe a source of inspiration for you to dig through your own collection. Or maybe it's simply just a source of entertainment as well. I don't want you to ever feel pressured. Just because there's a new makeup video out does not mean you need to go purchase anything new yourself. You could just use this as, again, inspiration for your own personal collection. Maybe you'll see something in the stack and it'll remind you of something else that you already have and make you want to play with it. Obviously, if you do end up shopping and use my code, I appreciate it so much, but never feel pressured. And I did, of course, film this look, by the way. It's already on my channel. It's part of a recent 2 looks with 2 recent Titanium Foxes palettes that I acquired. And as far as my accessory details go, I have some rings here. This is Ana Luisa. This is Regal Rose. I don't know where this one is. And these earrings are from Windlestraw Studio. So yeah, without further ado, we are just gonna hop into it and rank these palettes. Ooh, I got my stack here in front of me. I'm excited. I'm very excited. And just as a reminder too, I promise you I'm not forgetting anything if you think I am. I keep track of everything that I'm acquiring and I take notes throughout the year as I acquire more palettes so I can keep my thoughts organized. So if you think I'm forgetting something in this roundup, it was either in the last one and you missed it. I have it, but I haven't tried it yet and it'll be in a future ranking, or you're just mistaken and I simply don't have it. But without further ado, let's get into ranking these last 11 palettes. Ranked number 11, unfortunately, has been quite a flop. It's been probably the biggest flop of the year so far, and I mean that with my whole soul. It's the Jolie Beauty Cyberpunk. It came in their Festive Alt collection, which that collection as a whole was super fun, but this palette specifically just did not cut it for me. I feel like this neon situation was just very lackluster. I found these to be very sheer. You have to really pack them on to build them up. I find that they do not blend with each other very well at all. I can sort of use this as a companion with something else, like if I were blending a regular shadow out with one of these neons, it can kind of work, but I just find these to be too finicky. Supposedly these glow under black light. I have not tested that myself because I just simply don't really go anywhere that has black light, but supposedly they do that, which is cool and fun, but I don't know. I just feel like I have other neon or just brights in my collection in general that aren't even neon, but still perform much better than this. So unfortunately, quality-wise, this one just did not cut it for me. And moving on to number 10, and even though this is part of the same collection that I just talked about, I cannot stress enough just how vastly different I feel about these palettes. Even though this is technically 10, and the one I did not like is 11, my feelings quality-wise are drastically different. This is the Distortion, also from Jolie Beauty from that Festive Alt collection. This one is much more of like a neutral little moment. We have kind of cooler tones over here, warmer tones over here, really, really pretty wet looking shimmers. I really enjoy the quality of these shimmers. The mattes perform a million times better than what those neons did. They have great pigmentation, great blendability. I've had really good luck with Jolie Beauty in the last like year and a half or so. There was a time where their shimmers weren't my favorite a few years ago, where everything was much more satiny or just straight up glitter. These are actually really just metallic, shifty, pretty shimmers. The main reason I ranked this one as low as I did is just because I'm simply not so much of a neutral person. I do dabble in them from time to time, but it's just simply not my go-to. So everything else I've included in this ranking, I just am more inspired by, or the theming is more my speed, or the color story is more my speed. The list goes on, but again, I can't stress enough, this quality-wise is a million times better than the Cyberpunk. I don't know what happened with those neons, but this one quality-wise is pretty great. So, I mean, if you like this sort of theming, if you're into this brand, if you want just like a cute little 9-pan neutral palette, I do think the quality is pretty great. Moving on, ranked number 11, I gave it to the Smoke Show, also from Jolie Beauty from the Festival. This was not me trying to like just pick on this collection because again, I did enjoy this collection as a whole minus the one palette. This one was just kind of similar thoughts. Like, it's a nice, just sort of black, white, grayscale sort of palette. I just don't reach for this specific type of palette all the time. I do think it's fun. I think it has its place. I think the quality, again, is really nice. We have really pretty shimmers. We have things that are more like intense, just metallics, just that thick, in-your-face metallic, and then we have some that are more wet-looking shifty. This one does feature a pressed glitter, which in the past was not my favorite thing, but I feel like they're used so few and far between now that when there is the occasional pressed glitter in the palette, I don't hate it the way I used to. And I feel like this one in particular, it's very just like, I don't know, it almost looks like gravel, but in a cool way. It's just very shiny, salt and peppery on the lid. I feel like pairing it with a smoky eye in this palette is a really cool combo as well. Again, quality-wise is really cool. We have this kind of satiny gray here as well, which I also don't typically like satin shadows, but I feel like for blending out in a really dark black smoky eye, this satin really does help aid with that. So I feel like there's a lot of really cool mixtures of textures in here that really help create cool smoky, cool toned looks. Again, it's maybe not my go-to palette, but it doesn't take away from the fact that I think what it is was done really well. And ranked number 8, finishing off the Festival collection, is the Hellish palette. Obviously, this one is my favorite out of that collection. This one's just much more of a color story. We have sort of a red purple situation. I'm obviously more of a fan of the fact that there's color in here. Obviously, if you know me at all, you know I would probably replace this beige with something else. I feel like that just didn't really need to be here. Even like a lighter purple could have been really cool, just to help blend out either shade, but I do feel like as a whole this has just more of a fun color story for me. Again, the shimmers have great quality. This metallic red is beautiful. It's just a really smooth, shiny metallic red. The mattes, again, perform really well. I really like this one. I think it's cute. I've mentioned it before, but when I first got that palette, it kind of reminded me of their Tainted palette they launched earlier this year, but obviously in a much more condensed version, where this has 9, this has like 1,000,000. But you know, we have similar things going on with the red purple sort of situation. So maybe if you're somebody who liked this one, but it was just way too big for you, you might prefer this one. For some reason, I do typically prefer a small palette. In this case though, this larger palette just wins for me. There's just something so special about this. I love the pink, purple, red. I feel like every shade matters. There isn't a useless beige in here for me. Because for me, even this like soft mauvey taupey shade has more of a purpose than just a basic beige. But I really like the quality in here. Not to say the quality in here is bad, but I feel like in this case, this is a situation where the bigger is just the better one. But this was still a good palette, and I feel like if you like this sort of a color story and you want something smaller, you might really like this. So just wanted to kind of share that comparison for you. Number 7, I gave to the Blend Bunny and Ellis Volume 2 palette. I'm so excited about Ellis Volume 2. This is just so exciting. Ellis Atlantis and Blend Bunny collaborated like a year ago. They came out with this giant rainbow palette. I have it right here. Literally, it's the size of a table. It is the most like in-your-face rainbow. Like, this is every rainbow shade you would ever need. The ultimate rainbow palette. Much bigger than I typically prefer, but it genuinely is such a good rainbow palette. Well, they collabed again recently to come out with the Ellis Volume 2, and it is pretty much the exact opposite of the Ellis Volume 1, which I think was such a good move. I feel like, I don't know, now every shade is covered between the two of them. We have a much more neutral vibe going on. We have sort of a half warm, half cool. It's mostly, again, neutral shades, but we do have pops of like, you know, pinkiness and then oranginess. They also did something pretty innovative where you can buy this palette just as is like this, but they also came out with 2 smaller versions where it's basically the 3 cool toned rows in one palette and then the 3 warm toned rows in another palette. So if you only favor one sort of undertone more than another, you could buy just half of it. Or if you wanted to own all of it but wanted it broken up in 2 pieces, you can as well. And again, usually I do prefer a smaller palette, but for the sense of like cohesiveness with Blend Bunny and just keeping this as one. This was just, it made more sense for me and my channel to just keep this as one palette, but I did want to throw out there that they did technically also launch this as 2 smaller ones. Again, as I've mentioned, I'm not the biggest neutral person, but I feel like this is a more interesting way to do neutrals. Again, we have sort of those pops of color. We have so many different undertones, and I really appreciate that even though, you know, Blend Bunny always does this gradient effect where it's dark to light, all the light shades aren't repetitive. It's not the same beige 100 times. We have like, you know, a pale pink, a pale mauve, an actual beige, a pale peach, more of like a soft white, and then a soft gray. So I really, really, really appreciate that this wasn't just riddled with beige, because that could have been really easy to do in a palette like this, and that's very appreciated from me. Blend Bunny's quality is just so good. Their mattes are so blendable, so easy to use. So I did want to rank this as high as I could just because the quality really is just so top tier, but because I don't reach for just like an all matte neutral leaning palette all the time, I could only rank it so high, but the quality really is amazing, and I think they did a great job with this, and I love that it's so different than the first one. Moving on to number 6, I decided to give it to the other Ellis and Blend Bunny collaboration from this year. This is the Garden of Stars, and first of all, this packaging is just beautiful, so ethereal and special. This is an all shimmer companion palette. This is 18 shades of sparkly, shifty magic. These shades are all so pretty. I love this. I'm not usually somebody who reaches into an all shimmer companion palette too often. Once in a while I will, but I usually just prefer more of a completed palette. This really is, I feel like, such a special ultimate companion palette. These are so pretty, so gorgeous, so many pretty undertones. I like that you can layer them a little bit with a lighter hand and have more of a topper, but you can also get full saturation, full metallic sparkle yumminess. It's so good. So pretty. There's been a trend over the last few months of like pool tile eyeshadows where it's like really pretty special sparkly eyeshadows that look like, you know, pool tiles with the water glistening over it. This is the ultimate pool tile palette. It's just so pretty. And recently, Blend Bunny has been transitioning their palettes into being magnetic, which is so great because I do little build your own palettes over on Instagram once in a while. And I've already reached into this for some shades because I can pluck them out. And then I just have all these really pretty shimmers. These are just gorgeous. So pretty. Again, I'm not going to reach for a standalone all shimmer palette too often, so I could only rank it so high, but this quality is incredible and I think it's beautiful. It's so stunning to look at. I'm really pleased with this. Moving on to the top 5 though. These are 5 really great palettes. I'm very excited about them. Let's get into it. First of all, Titanium Foxes recently reached out to me and wanted to send me a few palettes, and I'm very thankful. I've been wanting to try this brand for a long time, and I've had the pleasure of trying out 3 palettes recently, so let's get into those next. First is the Poppy Storm. This is actually what I'm wearing today, and I think it's so cool. It's like murky, swampy, but still manages to be colorful. I'm very impressed with this brand's quality so far. I find the mattes to be very pigmented and very blendable, and the shimmers are gorgeous. And I feel like they have a pretty good mixture of shimmer textures. Some are more of that like sparkly, twinkly, shifty. Some are more of that smooth, metallic, shifty. Like this multi-chrome, it doesn't really have like chunky sparkle. It's just that smooth multi-chrome, which is gorgeous. I find their color stories to be very weird and unique and kind of chaotic, but still cohesive at the same time. I feel like they get my creative brain just zoom in. I love it. This was such a treat to work with. So pretty. I will say though, unfortunately, because I'm trying some of these palettes that have been out for a chunk of time, one of them is newer, but I think the other 2 have been out for a little bit. This one is getting discontinued. It might already be discontinued by the time this video goes up, unfortunately, but if you're into this color story, maybe it'll just inspire you to dig through your collection and find similar tones. But this one is so pretty and so fun, and it's been such a treat playing with this brand. Number 4, I gave to the Hidden Piece. I believe this is their newest palette, and it is gorgeous. I love just how colorful but muted this is. It's kind of like very fall tones, but with splashes of brightness as well. Again, these shimmers are just so pretty. I feel like there's a lot you can really do with this one. Really cool color combos. I feel like it's so colorful and vibrant without it just being a rainbow. And then there's also that toned down jewel tonedness to it that I really, really enjoy. Again, I've been finding myself very impressed with the quality. The owner has been so sweet too, by the way, such a kind person, but this is beautiful. I've had such a blast. It's been such a treat. And ranked number 3 is what I think my favorite from the 3 that I've tried so far is, and it's the Grackle Chat. So cool. I really like this texture on the cover with the birds just kind of like slightly there, but it's like very subtle. It's so pretty. But I love this. I feel like it's murky and moody and very autumnal, but still colorful. These rich, shiny multi-chromes are so cool. Like when I move this around, like it's just so special. This shade in particular lives in my head rent-free right now. All these really pretty tones. Again, just great quality, great quality. Feeling so impressed because like, you never know when you're trying a new brand. Like I've seen really pretty pictures, I've seen really pretty looks people have done, but until I try something for myself, I'm just never gonna know. We all do have different preferences at the end of the day, so what works for someone might not work for me, but I'm really happy to say that this brand has been great so far, and this is my favorite that I've tried from them. Really quick, popping in from slightly the future, it's been like an hour since I filmed this video, and I was working on some editing and description boxes and stuff, and I realized the Grackle Chat, unfortunately, is also not available anymore. Did not realize that at the time of filming, but yeah, this one also unfortunately got discontinued. 2 of these palettes, I guess, are older from the brand that I acquired a bit later, which is okay. I still had a great time playing with them, and I still stand by everything that I've said. But moving on to the top 2, I love these. These stand out so much for me. I think they are absolutely gorgeous. Number 2, I'm giving to the new Bonfire palette from Glaminatrix. It's just so pretty. So pretty. I really enjoy just these very rich autumnal tones. We have this kind of green, murky quad, but it's still vibrant as well. It's like such a good combination. We have this very hot red-orange quad, and then this very cool tone quad, I feel like offsets it so well. It's such a good contrast to everything else that's going on. I found myself doing really fun color combos with this palette. The quality is really, really good. I think I saw Glaminatrix mention that this one and then the Grounded Slash Tones of Turd had more of a elevated or new formula, I should say. And while I've pretty much always loved their eyeshadows, I have found myself particularly really liking their most recent palettes a lot. I just find the quality to be even more beefed up. Maybe not by like such a significant amount, but I did find myself noticing like, yeah, I have actually really enjoyed the most recent palettes. But to be fair, the most recent palettes have also been like very up my alley as far as the color story goes, so that could have something to do with it too. I think this is beautiful, so stunning, gorgeous shimmers. I really enjoy Glaminatrix. And last but not least, ranked number 1 out of these recent 11 palettes is the new Magnetic Mineralia. This is a collaboration between Diavrune and Andromeda on Instagram, and I'm so excited. They are such a cool creator. They create just some of the prettiest, coolest, most otherworldly looks. They are such a sweet person, and I'm so excited about this collaboration and having this in my hand. This packaging is so cool. It's supposed to represent like an amethyst, and then the serpent is supposed to represent like the serpentine crystal. It's so pretty. I love all the symbolism here. And then the inside is just murky goodness. This is such a me color story. I love these dark, moody, murky purples. These chartreusey shades are so good. These cool toned browns, even though like obviously I don't reach for neutral too often, I don't find this to be neutral heavy. It's just neutral accents. And the fact that it's cool tone makes it so much better for me. I love cool tones. These shimmers are so pretty, so special. I feel like they have the prettiest flips and shifts to them. Just absolutely gorgeous. Every time I've played with this palette, it has been such a treat. I love this. By far my favorite that this brand has done. It's just such a great one. What an amazing release. And yeah, those are my most recent 11 palettes that I tried out. I would love to hear your thoughts. Did my reasoning make sense to you? I feel like it makes sense to me, but it's because I'm my own person. I would love to know if we have similar preferences, or maybe we're complete opposites. Maybe you love just like a tiny neutral palette and this would have been your favorite out of the bunch, and that's okay too. We're not all supposed to like the same things. The world would be so boring if we all liked the exact same things. So if some of your favorite things that you've tried recently may be in the bottom of this ranking, that's okay. That's okay. I won't be offended if you didn't like the Bonfire palette. You know what I mean? We can all like different things and still be friends to an extent. There's certain things I can't tolerate, but I would love to hear your thoughts. What are you thinking? Let's just chat down below. If you made it to the end of this video, leave your last 10 most recently used emojis. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Helps my channel out a lot. And if you're not already, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm BATTYBEAN over there. And you can also subscribe if you want to see more videos. You are also welcome to hop over to my second channel, linked in my description box if you want additional content. And also in my description box is a link to my channel memberships. There's a couple different tiers with a couple different perks, and I would love to have you. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep watching, I'll pop a similar one on the screen. Thank you so much for being here, and I will catch you in the next one.